Sean John Combs, P. Diddy 1. Arrest and charges. Date of arrest. In September 2024, P. Diddy, Sean Combs, was arrested in New York and indicted in federal court. Charges. He was accused of multiple crimes, including human trafficking, organizing prostitution, physical violence, forced labor, kidnapping, and attempts to cover up his crimes. A key element of the charges is the operation of a criminal organization that sought to exploit and intimidate victims. 2. Criminal activities. 2008 to 2024. According to the indictment, Sean Combs led a criminal organization from 2008 to 2024, aimed at exploiting women and profiting from their sexual labor. The charges involve violence, manipulation, drug trafficking, and blackmail. P. Diddy allegedly used his influence in the music and media industries to intimidate his victims, maintaining control over them while hiding his activities. Third, freak-off. Parties. Combs organized so-called freak-off, secret parties where women were forced to participate in prolonged sexual acts, often recorded. Some of these parties were violent, and women were coerced through threats, drug addiction, and financial dependence. Victims were intimidated into silence. They were threatened with the release of recordings from these events as well as with physical attacks. 4. Physical and psychological violence. P. Diddy allegedly physically assaulted women multiple times, using violence such as beating, kicking, and intimidation. Reports indicate that many of his victims suffered emotional and physical trauma as a result of his actions. Women were forced into compliance under the threat of losing financial support from P. Diddy, as well as through drug addiction. 5. Control over victims and manipulation. To control his victims, Combs allegedly used financial manipulation and threats. Many women were financially dependent on him, and when they tried to resist, they were faced with threats of exposing compromising recordings. Investigations revealed that Combs had threatened the victims and their families, making it even more difficult for them to escape the situation. 6. Attempts to cover up actions. The charges also include obstruction of justice. Combs and his associates allegedly tried to hide evidence and intimidate witnesses to avoid legal responsibility. These attempts included bribing witnesses and putting pressure on authorities to cover up the investigations. 7. Investigation and further actions. Federal prosecutors are encouraging more victims to come forward as part of the ongoing investigation. The investigation is being led by the Southern District of New York and Homeland Security, and P. Diddy could face additional charges. The trial is expected to take place in 2025, though the dates could change depending on the progress of the investigation and legal proceedings. 8. Potential penalties. If the charges are confirmed, Combs could face serious penalties, including long-term imprisonment. Given the severity of the allegations, the trial could last for years, and the sentences might be extremely harsh.